Welcome back to the channel, guys. Uh, Tonight I'm just letting you catch up with the fact that I did join a new team. We're going to go over the Kodama monster tonight. I finally have a move sheet, even though I'm a little late to the party since there's already a maze going on for him, and he's right here. Uh, I'm not on a max collect, meaning I've missed some coins, but I'm doing my best to try and get him as close to rank 1 as I can because that's the sweet spot where he gets res block. Um, my team, I joined with a war warning or a war timer, so I'm not in the war. But the team that I joined is Unknown Error 2. I had previously joined a team which had their description set to 125 laps with 2,500 gem requirement. And I went through their MP and they were all super high, and I just freaked out and left. And then they messaged me back and was like, where did you go?" And I was like, "I left for a lower team, one that I felt more comfortable with." And then come to find out, they were like, "No, those are our old rules. Like, we're only doing 85s now." And I don't know, I just stayed here. I didn't want to do the same thing I did to them and do to this team by basically just joining to leave. So this one seems really relaxed. Everybody's very nice. I was a little confused at first with their war rule or their race rules, but they explained it to me, and everything sounds perfect. So hopefully this is going to be a great fit. Um, the compasses that are going on, guys. I have been watching the videos to get my compasses, mainly because they're in the shop. You can go right here, and you can spend those compasses to get chests. I'm not sure exactly how many I have, but I don't know why it says that you need a key. You need one Tails key to unlock this deal. Go to the Tails challenge and collect it. Interesting. I guess that means after it starts. So I would check how many of them I have here in my stash. We almost have enough to buy one extra. Another thing is the pass gives you those Forsaken cells, but it's only or souls, and it's only giving 10. I really think they need to up that since, Forsaken aren't like Elite or Nemesis, meaning you're giving us the same amount of Forsaken souls as you're giving us Elite souls and Nemesis souls, but the difference is once you get the Elite unlocked or once you get the Nemesis unlocked, you can just use Elementium or regular cells to increase its rank, whereas Forsaken, you cannot do that, meaning the Forsaken souls are like 100 times more needed than the Nemesis and uh, Elite ones. So I don't know if they've factored that in or not. I did get my heist um, finally hatched, which has allowed me to now be able to come over here and do more than just the first node. I can do the second one too. It's really easy. I'll show you. I don't even have any runes on my level 92 one, and I only have gold runes on the other one. And Nora can just beat the whole entire 10 cosmic stardust cells. She can do it all by herself. So that just goes to show you that it's not anything that you have to invest in beating these nodes. Same goes with the one before it. I'll do those on my own time some other time, along with the Amber Dungeon. Speaking of which, it is close to rank up time, an hour and 5 minutes for Tanya, and I have gathered more Amber. I actually got 200 Amber from a movie chest, meaning the ones that you watch here every 2 hours. I actually got a 200 amber chest from there, along with the 3 monster chests I've gotten from there so far. Other than that, it's been basically all 3 amber and like tiny level 3 to 10 rune chests, I think. So nothing spectacular, but we will find out if the monster chests are spectacular later on. And the next monster that I'll be ranking is going to be Moonhaze. Moonhaze is the next one on the list. Here I'm just trying to get some cells started for my upcoming race. This team requires screenshots every Monday for your progress on cells. So I guess they can make sure that you're not slacking off, which is cool. I'm down. I dig it. the more prepared my team is, the better team I found, because that's sort of what I was lacking in the last team, is that I was free to play and I'm, out preparing pretty much everyone except for a handful. And then, yeah, I didn't like it. I felt like everybody should be carrying the same amount of weight. Like, it shouldn't be a handful of people carrying the bottom handful of people. Anyway, that's the thing of the past. Let me jump right into the monster now. I have them saved in my. Alright, so Kodama. Kodama has 72,000 health, 7,480 power, and 5,841 speed. Therefore, making this better than a legend, better than a mythic, in my opinion, right off the bat. Its stats are phenomenal, okay? Its trait, immune to poison, not the biggest deal, but rank 1, block resurrect. Let's talk about that. That is an amazing trait. What that trait does is it blocks your enemy's resurrection skills. That does not block your own resurrection skills. Meaning, if you run safe Wormlad, you can still use Wormlad to revive, or Rag to revive, or Neasel to revive, or Mazurus to revive, but your opponent cannot. As long as this trait remains active. If they trait disable them, they can start reviving. It does not stop relics, it only stops skills. So, like, if you kill, Wormlad, he's going to come back with his Uriel Essence, or if you kill Graken, he'll come back with his Uriel Essence. But it's going to make a huge difference, especially for the spenders. The first people that are going to be able to get the biggest use out of them are the Vanos people. The other ones that I, like myself, where I'm going to get the biggest value out of this monster, I believe, is in revenge attacks. Meaning, if I look and see that I got beat by somebody, and then I go and I click their profile, and it shows me that they've got like Missourius, Laundrad, and somebody else on their defense, I'm like, wow, that's like an all revive team. I'm just going to go ahead and bring my block resurrection and smash out that revive team real quick. That's where it gets phenomenal. Status caster immune to torture, that's very good, but at the same time, I don't think it makes the monster a whole lot more valuable. Meaning, it does in a way, because if the monster's dead, then his block resurrection also doesn't take effect. But what I'm looking at is in a free to play, where can I get the most value for the least resource? And that's at rank 1, guys. Meaning, if you technically max collect, you can get this guy of rank 1 out of the maze as is. This becomes crucial in comparison to me, because the only thing I have to compare it to is the other block resurrection monsters in the game. And none of them are easy to acquire, meaning the easiest one that requires the least amount of investment is the Elite Soul Hugger, who is, as far as I know, completely useless other than his block resurrect. So if somebody wants to argue that this monster is completely useless, I would say, well, it could be completely useless, but even the block resurrect alone makes it useful. Why? Because it can hold 3 runes, and we can put 3 team speed on it, which means it can, without even going farther down, and we're reading this guy's skills. I don't care if they were blank and he didn't do anything but charge every single turn for his whole entire existence. He still becomes worth getting, worth acquiring, and actually high up in my value list of monsters I would be using. Meaning he instantly becomes what I call a tool, and he goes in my toolbox. So that way, anytime I see them going against revive teams, boom, go grab my tool. Shut them down. Bring him right along, shut them down. I would also guess that based off of the loading screen where he's across from a one-eyed nasty little thing, I would assume that's probably a revive monster coming. So to me, he's going to have reoccurring value, whereas people are always worried, what is he going to be good in a year? I don't know, look at the other res block monsters. They required tons of investment. Lamena was a res block. You had to get it to rank 5. Nicasia was a great res block monster because of that area dodge it could wear team speed. Meaning, yeah, sure, that could technically be arguable better than this, not even counting skills. But if you remember back then when everyone was trying to get their Nicasia to res block, what did you have to do? You had to rank it to 3, meaning you had to show up with some cells. It's not like you just got it rank 3 and was like, oh yeah, I just, I checked in and did my event and now I got my rank 3. No, you had to put work in, you had to invest. This one you don't really have to. And if you're a slacker like myself, and since they started doing mythics in the maze to where I could use amber to make up for being a slacker, I started being a slacker. I stopped doing with the alarms. Same thing here, guys. You can use Stardust to get to it. And if you just seen me earlier, I just showed you that it's super easy to do the Stardust dungeons. You basically just have to get the Stardust monsters. You have to get Cosmic Monster. You can then beat them up with your legendaries all the way to 15 a day, meaning currently I myself can make 15 a day. All right, so that gives me an ability to slack a little bit, meaning if I come up 30 cells short, 2 days of work, boom, got my red block monster. Once I got my res block monster, don't gotta go crazy and invest in it. I can just sit it in my toolbox. I can leave it there for whenever I need it. Don't gotta main team it. Don't gotta secondary team it. Can use it against revenges when it's time to get my rank up at the end of the season. Alright, so without wasting all of our time on the traits, which I think it's worth putting most of the time into the traits because that's the best. Brings me to the relics. We have a mask and an amulet. What I look for in both of these is two things: stamina and healing. Meaning my mask, to me, they're either going to take stamina, give stamina, or heal. The amulet is either going to give stamina or heal. That's me so far with playing. There's probably other relics that do other things for those slots, but not on my account. Meaning on my account, that's basically, if you go check anybody who can wear a mask and check anybody who can wear an amulet, those are the mods that those amulets or masks are possessing, whether they're bronze or silver is irrelevant. Those are what they're, or gold, that's what they're producing. So, moving right along into the first set of skills, we got deals low nature damage to one enemy and then deals low nature damage to all enemy. Look up there at that power, 7,000 power. So if you didn't care about this monster, you could technically get away with a strength rune on it. That's going to hit really hard versus legends, and all but one Mega Taunt monster is a legend. So will 15 damage will become 45 damage? Would that be able to kill a legendary Mega Taunt? Probably not. My guess would be probably not. But I think nature is good versus magic, and I don't think there are any magic Mega Taunts yet. But I'm not sure. Maybe I'm missing something because it's hard to think everything off the fly, and I'm new to the game, so I don't have everything memorized. So I don't see anything real catchy there, but I know that there's 0 cooldowns, and so I just jump right down and I scroll the rest, and I see no other 0 cooldown moves. So usually I always have a 0 cooldown move on a monster. This looks like a monster where I could argue that it's worth not putting a 0 cooldown move on, especially if you're going to use what I just said and go team speed. Then don't worry about it. Just charge for your 0 cooldown. Just gain some stamina. The next set deals low nature damage to all enemies, applies poison to all enemies. With 1 cooldown, 50 cost, 90% accuracy. Not interesting to me. Applies torture immunities to itself, applies immunity control to itself. It doesn't do any damage, it only has 1 cooldown. If it's already under a control move, then it can't cast control moves unless it's super lucky. Meaning you're possessed and then you cast immunity to control on yourself. Like maybe you were mega possessed and you cast immunity to control on yourself. I feel like the chances of that situation actually becoming a valid situation in PvP is so small that I wouldn't run this move. I am not a fan of cleansing moves because most of the time if the person you're trying to cleanse is already under control, it defeats the whole point and therefore it makes it a wasted move. Whereas if it was an AoE, gives the whole team immunity to control, it becomes a very valid playable move to me because it could save that attacker that was about to go that's possessed from killing your team and doing his job and killing your opponent. And you can just remove it with immune to control. Something like Metalisha, like how she can pass it to another monster, even if it was the next step down from an AoE would be an ally, meaning to be able to cast it on an ally is the next step down from being able to cast it on the team, and then the worst of them all is self, being able to cast it on self. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Moving down, so far I haven't seen a playable move. But unarguable. If I had to pick one so far, I would go with deals moderate nature damage to one enemy with 0 cooldown. Just because we have 7,480 power, which means even with no strength runes, we can at least put a chip in a area dodge monster legend or a regular legend. Alright, so the next set. Deals moderate special damage to all enemies, applies nature weakness to all enemies, applies daze to all enemies. That's playable. Why? Because daze can work as total blind, meaning if a monster is dazed and they miss, that's no different than if they were total blind and they miss. A miss is a miss. So giving yourself the chance to make the enemy miss is the exact same thing as giving yourself the chance to win a fight you weren't going to win. So that's playable so far. I see a playable move. Along with nature weakness, meaning actually you're getting two values here. You can apply nature weakness, meaning if you did run with the move that I said, the 0 cooldown 35 damage, and you get this move off, nature weakness, and then they CDA you, you can still smack back for a pretty big value. The next move activates all cooldowns one enemy applies poison. Uh, that's definitely good. That's 100% good. That's a single CDA move. With only 2 cooldowns, it doesn't do any damage. That's a rip. But it's very accurate. 95%. The move I just read was 90 before it, so they're very rarely going to miss, but it can happen. The stamina costs are starting to get pretty crazy, though, 56 and 66. But when we look back up there, it said that you could wear an amulet. I myself know that the bronze energizing amulet can heal up to 45 stamina twice in a fight. So no, that won't allow you to go from 0 stamina to being able to cast either of these moves, which is the most crucial part, is coming from 0 stamina. Why? Because if someone's relic trigger just dropped you to 0 stamina, you need to be able to come from 0 to being able to cast your moves. And having 45 stamina will only let me cast the moves off of the 0 cooldown moves up there. So yeah, it's very relevant that wearing a bronze amulet is not going to save you here. But I don't own one, but I know there's players out there who do. The Tanya amulet is like the greatest thing in the world for having stamina issues if you can wear an amulet. Tanya's amulet does just so much work in the stamina department. If you don't know what it does, go to your reliquary and look. You can check any relic at any time. Alright, the mask. There is a silver mask that says whenever you get hit, you can gain stamina. Okay, if you pair that with the bronze amulet, and someone whacks you and takes your stamina to 0, then you probably can come back to enough stamina to cast one of these moves. Why? Because you can get a bronze relic trigger for 45 and a mask trigger for, I don't know what the max is, but I know it's up there higher than 66 combined with the bronze. Alright, moves me down. So far, if I had to, since I know this guy is block res only toolbox, if he didn't have any other moves, I already got a 3 I would pick. I'd go with the 35 damage, 0 cooldown nature move, I'd go with the activates cooldown poison move, and I'd go with the nature weakness move. Alright, why? So I can nature weakness, get CDA'd, still be able to 35 damage, which gets applied to a weakness, which is going to be boosted more. Or if I'm not shut down, I'm going to activate the cooldowns on someone like Wormlad or Graken or any of those monsters that I should easily be faster than, even with team speed. Alright, deals low nature damage to all enemies, activates all cooldowns on all enemies. Boom, there's my 4 moves. Actually, I skipped one. Applies immunity torture to all allies. That's better than the one up there that we previously read that I said was useless. I'm just not liking that they deal 0 damage, so I would, and the fact that it costs 73 stamina, I don't think it's that relevant to be applying immunity to tortures to my allies, but it could be. Another thing to remember is that they can be already tortured and you apply this to them and it can like erase the tortures that were on them. The fact that it has self-immunity to torture kind of makes this 33% weaker because there's no sense applying immunity to torture to someone that already is immune to torture. So if you're ranking it up, this skill becomes even less valuable. So to me, it's non-engaging. You're playing catch-up. If you're trying to win, you're not trying to prevent loss. How you prevent loss is from winning. Just go ahead and win the fight, and then it doesn't matter that you were tortured. So I like to look away from that move. So if I had to go with the moves that I would pick on this monster, I would definitely go with deals low nature damage to all enemies, AoE CDA. I would go with the single CDA poison. I would go with the nature weakness daze, and I'd go with the 0 cooldown 35% damage. Boom. To me, that's looking sharp for a monster that I only cared about res block, and I only cared about being able to wear team speed runes. I didn't care about anything else, meaning, like I told you when I first started this monster could have 0 moves and just charge every turn, and it would still be playable, still be better than half of the monsters in this game. Actually, probably 75% of the monsters in this game. We're talking about a game with almost 700 monsters. That's that's 600 monsters that are worse than this without even it having moves. Like if it just charged every turn, that's 600 monsters worse than this. Why? Because it can carry 3 team speed and it can block resurrections, which is going to shut down tons of teams in the meta. All right, it's special. I can't stand specials at all in this game, but yeah, it looks pretty crazy. It deals nature damage to all enemies, activates all his cooldowns, and applies make possession to all enemies, which lasts 2 turns. That's 2 turn walks on somebody. And if you're crying about how much stamina this monster costs, then that means you're basically going to be at no stamina a lot. And I don't know about you guys, but I've been playing less than a year, and I'll tell you right now, I will swear my gohoonies on the fact that when you're at 0 stamina or you're at a stamina so low that you can't cast a move, you have a higher increased chance of getting your special. If Social Point says that's not true, Social Point is a liar and they need to go check their coding in their game. I've been playing long enough to call them out on the fact that I know it's a lie. You definitely have a higher chance to get your special when you don't have a move to do. So does the AI, so be warned of that. Alright, so that I've gone over this monster. My overall take on this monster is definitely a must get. It's definitely a get rank 1. I would prefer that you do it in the maze. The maze is the easiest way. The maze is the easiest way to get this monster rank 1. I would highly recommend that you do not slack. If you've already been slacking, so what? Start busting now. Why? Because you can make up for the slack with the Stardust later. You don't want to not have this tool in your toolbox. If you have Nicasia rank 115, maybe you don't need this tool in your toolbox. Maybe you're comfortable with having Nicasia. Nicasia does have a better skill set, okay? But Nicasia is also slower. Nicasia might actually die faster, meaning maybe their Nora already went and beat your team to death and you don't have res block anymore. But maybe you weren't killing them anyway to use your res block. I don't know. Maybe you're an area dodge taunt team and this guy doesn't help you because you can just use Nicasia. All I'm saying is there's a lot of players, because I don't have Nicasia rank 115 yet, which means there's gotta be a lot of people out there who don't have Nicasia rank 115. This is our chance. This is our chance to get a free handout res block monster just for being online when this maze came and doing the maze collections. Boom, we get it. That's all we gotta do to get this monster. Alright, now my advice on how do you get this monster the easiest. You don't spend any maze coins yet. If you've spent some, oh well, again, you can make up for it with Stardust. But what you're going to do with your maze coins is you're going to wait at this point until the hidden path comes out. When the hidden path comes out, you'll want to be online the hour after it comes out. It'll come out right after the maze dungeon. So there'll be a maze dungeon that gives out coins. When that dungeon is over, there will be a hidden path that appears, and it will have a 10% discount when it opens. You want to spend all of your coins on that discount. If you fail, then I think there's another one during the hidden path, but I'm not 100%. There's a sheet somewhere I'm sure you can find. But what you do is you take your hidden path, you get all your cells spent there, you try to complete the path. By the end of it, you complete that path, you should have 60 extra cells and the monster. Then you save all of your maze coins until 1 day, 18 hours, and when it clicks to 1 day, 17 hours, and 59 minutes, and 59 seconds, a 30% discount will pop up for 1 hour. You spend all of your maze coins during that 30% discount. You continue to make maze coins during that discount. You spend them all in that discount. When that discount is over, don't spend any more coins. Start saving them up again. Wait till the 20% discount, which I think is usually in the last hour, but sometimes I think it can be different. I'm not sure. Just keep your eyes out on it if you're serious about getting this res block. And then, boom, you spend your coins there, and that is your best chance to getting this monster for the least amount of coins, in my opinion. If someone knows a better opinion or a better method, let me know, because that's what I'll be doing to get my coins spent to get the monster. I have been completely unsuccessful with breeding the quest monster. I tried 4 times, guys. Did not get him. When this is up again and when these are out of my hatch, I'm going to try 4 more times, I guess. Why? It's a cosmic. That'll let me jump straight into being able to do the triple cosmic dungeon. That'll give me an extra monster for using in the infinite dungeon. I'm going to be putting level 6s on them. If you haven't seen how I get my 6s onto my monsters, go into my channel and find how to ruin your mythics in 4 minutes, okay? It's a 4-minute video on how to ruin your mythics in minutes. What it'll show you is that I basically am putting gold level 6s on all of my mythics, including the ones I don't use. So, I will be doing that to Thunder Kong if I can get him, or whatever his name is. He's an extra turn monster. I do have a move sheet on him, but I'm not really going to go over him because I don't have him yet, and I'm not really trying to focus on monsters that I don't have, even though they will become my opponents. But yeah, I'm not seeing him as better than most of the extra turn monsters that already exist. If we go into my attacks, I think somebody on my defense already attacked and used a team like that. Let me see. It was down here. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. 130 Thunder Kong, 130 Vanos, and a Megaton. Coming got beat up. Why? Because I'm wearing Life Runes. That's why. If that Thunder Kong would have been res block, would my team have won? I don't think so, guys. If that Odana down there would have been res block, do I think my team would have won? I don't think so, guys. If that Nora down there would have been res block, do I think my team would have won? I don't think so, guys. You get what I'm saying? Like this is a very valid monster coming out. Look at all these teams that smashed me. My defense is not that good, okay? But the ones that didn't smash me could have easily smashed me with res block. Especially the Vanos teams. The reason why I'm beating the Vanos teams is because I have enough life to survive the hit and then revive the guys that didn't. I didn't beat that one up there, but do you see why? Because they got Landra. They can play the same game and revive, revive, revive. Not when you add Resbach to the meta. So I definitely think that the monster is going to become relevant. And while I'm here, guys, I get to open up one of these wonderful mythic chests. I have got 80 Tanya from the last one I opened. Alright, we're back to getting high cells. I guess I'd rather get Tanya than high cells, but I'm going to go ahead and win one fight. Not going to do an hour of PvP. I'm just going to try to get me another egg. So the sooner I get that egg, the sooner that I can get back to playing the game. Resblock would be really good here. I would have used it in Tanya's spot if it was a revenge attack, and I think we would have busted this team up. What am I going to do with it now, though? No idea. I think we just try to blind the guy who has the potential, and we didn't get one. So yeah, we lose a monster. I don't want him to do that again, and I can't touch the guy that's evaded. So I really don't have any options here, guys, except to try and daze everybody and hope that they miss. If I hit with this move, he's going to revive everybody. So I'm just... Oh, we're screwed. That took away everything. Yeah, so on to the next fight. But like I was saying, if that was somebody that had beat my dungeon and I had to revenge them, we would have brought Resblock, and I think we would have done way better. Because then I could have just smashed out their attacker, and we wouldn't have to worry about that. Whereas there, I couldn't smash out their attacker because they could just revive it. I usually get beat up by strength. Okay, well, he doesn't have Dawn up or anything. I don't really have anything to cast here. So I guess we try to blind, which we didn't get it. Alright, well, we're basically going to deal with... We gotta get rid of the reviver first. Like, there's just no other way around it. And then here, we go ahead and trigger Uriel's. Make him have to use his trade disable again, which he won't have because he's dead. A lot of times, guys, I don't look up at the turn order until it's relevant to me. Meaning, if I feel like I'm already on the route to victory, I usually ignore it, which is not a good habit, so I got to get back into that. But if we win, we win. Alright, so we pray for tier 5 egg, but usually we get a junk one when we're short one. Nope, we got one. That's good. Sweet. Alright, so back out of here. Alright, that's what's going on. I am falling behind in these tasks, guys. The 7,900 gem tasks, I've only got a couple days left to finish these two tasks up here. I reported the one, but I actually got my rewards, so they can unreport it. Or whatever they do. But anyway, I have like less than a week to do both of these up top, and they're overlapping, meaning I have to play them both at the same time. So it's like me, I might have to sacrifice one and go just for the bigger gem one and try to finish it in the time. And then if I get successful, just use the remaining time and try and get lucky into the jackpot. I don't know, you guys will have to stay tuned. Anyway, I'd like to thank everyone who's been watching my channel. A lot of people tuned in to get those free chests from the links. Remember, those are not my links. Those are just me. As soon as I get the information, meaning if somebody in my team was to share the link, or if I was to see it on Discord, or anything of the such, as soon as I see the link, guys, I try to share it with you guys, because I can understand that a lot of the times you have to dig through a 30-minute video to find the link or something of the nature, you know, so, or you gotta wait on a video that might not be 9 seconds long, whereas there's a lot of people who probably don't want to watch my content. They don't want to watch anyone's content. They just want the free 10 chests. And if so, if that's them, that's what I wanted to provide, is just an easy access point for you to get the link and get out. And it looks like a lot of people do that. But it also looks like a lot of people don't know I exist, and when they come to get that link, they find out that I exist and they watch my channel. So to all you new people that started watching my channel, I hope I can keep you entertained with the content that's coming. Hopefully I can get better at PvP so we can produce better content. Hopefully I can get some better monsters so we can produce better content. And hopefully if you didn't have an idea how good Kodama is, now you do, whether you thought she was bad because her moves cost a lot of stamina or they don't do much. I hope I gave you a new perspective on the monster, that it's not about her moves, it's not about her stamina cost, it's about that res block, it's about the resource investment that it required to get the res block, how it was basically a handed out res block. If you just bought Vanos, what more can you ask for besides a handed out Megaton, okay? That would be like saying if the monster had Megaton, but all of its moves sucked, and all of its moves cost a bunch of stamina, but it had Megaton, like starting Megaton or trait Megaton, would you be sitting here saying, "Oh, it's a horrible monster. All of its moves sucks. Its stamina is so high"? No, you wouldn't. You'd be like, "Oh, what are you talking about? It can wear 3 runes and has Megaton." Exactly. It's the same situation here, guys. It's a tool for your toolbox. So make sure you get that tool for your toolbox, or you're not going to be able to complete the same amount of jobs. Later, guys.